Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I had planned a whole Magic 30 retrospective for this video. I'd planned on doing walk and talk vlogging videos and recording evening recaps for videos. The problem was I forgot to do that, like actually record that stuff. But what I didn't forget was recording a lot of the actual event. So I'm up to my armpits in B-roll, and I'm not sure I want to do a Magic 30 retrospective anymore. I don't know if there's anything I could say that would add more to the conversation that hasn't already been said. The command zone was too expensive, and frankly I don't think they should be charging for it to begin with. There really wasn't enough space for free play and on-demand events. The actual logistics of the event were spotty at best in terms of planning, and the events were, well, that was a bit of a cluster. What, am I just gonna say that over again? Well, I guess I just did. They dropped Weekly MTG this week, so I decided instead of doing a retrospective, I would talk a little bit about what they said today about future Magic events, which I find interesting, if for no other reason than this.
Now what about tournament operations? I know we received a lot of feedback in that space as well.
Yeah, so I just want to make clear, tournament operations was a particular pain point in Vegas. We know it. That's on us, that's on Wizards of the Coast and our software. We take responsibility, we're working on it, and we're going to try to do better. But just to be clear, that's not the fault of Pastimes or our partners. That is 100% on Wizards of the Coast, and we're working on it.
Okay, all right.
I know, that's them actually acknowledging they made a mistake, apologizing for it, and they're taking steps to fix it. Important thing I did want to talk about. This wasn't the GPs of the past. For anybody who's new or who has come to Magic during or after the pandemic, prior to the pandemic, there were Grands Prix or Pro Tours. I actually only went to one Pro Tour, and it was a Pro Tour that was happening during a Grand Prix, so I can't speak to actual Pro Tours and the way they were held back then. But whenever they would hold a Grand Prix, it would be a tournament that people could enter, and there was a cost to enter the tournament, but there wasn't a cost to enter the venue. You could just walk in, you didn't need a ticket. And as time went on, more and more vendors would show up at these events, and then artists started showing up at these events. And it started attracting more people than the ones who just went to the Grand Prix. And they started doing side events and on-demand events, and it became a bigger thing. And Wizards noticed this, so the Grand Prix became Magic Fests, because they wanted to try to move it more into a Magic convention space. At this time, they still were free to enter, they still were essentially a tournament with bonuses added on, but it was moving towards convention. And then Command Fests started up. Now, Command Fests was the first time, at least that I'm aware of, where Wizards started charging to enter the venue. And essentially, a Command Fest was basically what a Grand Prix was, minus the big tournament. It was just a whole bunch of side events, on-demand events, artists and vendors, and that was it. Then the pandemic happened, and well, yeah, everything shut down. The motion towards a Magic convention-like situation ground to a halt. And it seems that when we started coming out of lockdown, they announced the Command Fests, and that's what happened all this past summer. And then they announced Magic 30, and it became something to criticize, and that's a tradition that continues through to this day. But today they announced more details for MagicCon, and they gave us a schedule for future Magic Cons through the rest of the year. So we're going to have MagicCon Philadelphia in February, we're going to have MagicCon Minneapolis in May, and then there will be MagicCon TBD in Europe, sometime after May. I don't know where the city TBD is. Is that in Belgium? Seriously though, they said that they hadn't finalized the details for that particular MagicCon, so they couldn't announce it today. They will be announcing that soon once the deal is finalized. And then finally, we are going to return to Vegas in September for the MagicCon Las Vegas, which will coincide with the World Championship of 2023. Also note that the Philadelphia MagicCon will include a Pro Tour, and the other MagicCons will also be including Pro Tours as well. With this announcement, we have seen a fundamental change in Magic events. From now going forward, starting from Magic 30 in Vegas, all major events are going to be large tournaments connected to a large convention. From a business perspective, it makes sense. Getting in free to a Grand Prix was nice. It really was only targeting one type of player, and that's the competitive player. I'll admit, I'm an outlier. I'm not a competitive player by any stretch, and I never actually played in any of the tournaments that I attended. I just did side events. But I'm so enfranchised in the game, I do a YouTube channel. So of course I'm going to go to events that happen nearby. I remember going to a Grand Prix and thinking, I wish this was a convention. I wish this was bigger. I wish this was like a comic convention, because I love comic conventions and I would love to have a Magic convention. The people at Wizards were thinking about money. In the old model, people could just walk in and out, and they're only getting money from the competitive players who are attending. But see, now they're targeting everyone. They are trying to target this event to every type of Magic player. And not only are they targeting everyone, they're now charging to get in the door. That's probably my least favorite part of this, is going from a price of free to a price of a lot of money. They answered a question that I had when they originally announced Magic 30. They said that there would be another event, a Magic 30 event, happening in North Carolina in February. We haven't heard anything else about that. Well, it ends up that the Philadelphia event is replacing the North Carolina event. They decided they needed to find a space that was bigger than the convention center in Las Vegas. So they found the Pennsylvania Convention Center that has 450,000 square feet. For reference, the Las Vegas Convention Center only had 220,000 square feet. That's a bit of an upgrade. One increase I did like was seeing that the prizes for the cosplay contest at MagicCon Philadelphia have been raised even higher than what they were at Magic 30 Las Vegas. And find it interesting that they changed the branding of the events from Magic 30 to MagicCon? Wonder if it has anything to do with all the negative feelings around the Magic 30 edition thing that they released that wasn't really received all that well. I mean, it's smart to do this because now they can just use MagicCon going forward. They don't need to change it next year. So yeah, it makes sense to do it now. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was because of the negative feels surrounding the term Magic 30. I want to know what you all think. Do you think the changes are good? Do you think they're far enough? Do you think they need to go even further? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, I want to take a moment to thank a sponsor of the channel, MTG Cave. They're a local game store based out of Oklahoma. They're a great group of folks. They have all the stuff you need for Magic the Gathering, Dungeons & Dragons, Warhammer, 40K, and Age of Sigmar, as well as a lot of other cool stuff you should check out. There's something I'm going to be showing you in a couple of weeks that I got from them. I'm going to be doing a video on it. I'm really excited to tell you all about it. So check them out. There's a link in the description down below. If you use that link, that'll help out the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and y'all have a wonderful day. No time. Why do I look like that guy from the Lorax?
This show is part of the CIP network, inspiring creativity, one episode at a time.